Look, let me tell you something straight, and I'm not sugarcoating it for anyone, so listen closely, because most people will skip this and later cry about lost money, blaming the market, blaming the economy, blaming everyone but themselves. You see, most investors, yes, the ones who read all the newsletters, watch all the webinars, even brag about their research, they still lose money. And here's the bitter truth. Losing isn't always about being wrong. You can be right, pick the right stock, time the right sector, even predict the exact earnings report, and still watch your money evaporate like smoke in the wind. Why? Because investing isn't just about ideas or analysis. It's about behavior, emotion, timing, discipline, and the brutal reality of psychology combined with market mechanics. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine John, a 32-year-old working in IT in Austin. He's got $50,000 sitting in his brokerage account. He's confident. He's been reading all the right blogs, following the right gurus, watching CNBC every morning, thinking he's ready. Then a tech stock spikes. His gut tells him to buy. He's right. The stock goes up for a week. He feels smart. He texts his friends, posts on LinkedIn about his gains. But then, the market doesn't move like a graph in his spreadsheet. It drops maybe just 5%, maybe 10%, but suddenly his confidence wavers. He panics. He sells. He locks in a small gain, or maybe a small loss. And that, my friend, is why most investors lose. Because being right on a trade or a company doesn't matter if your psychology collapses under a small fluctuation. Your emotions are louder than your logic, and the market exploits that every single day. And don't get me started on fees. Oh, fees. They sneak in silently like a thief at night. $10 trades add up, advisory fees cut profits, expense ratios bleed returns over time. Your right decisions are silently sabotaged by the system designed to make you pay for being right in the short term, but wrong in your timing. And timing is everything. Let me ask you, have you ever bought a stock at $50, convinced it would hit $100, and then it goes to $40? You're right about the trajectory, you're right about the fundamentals, but the timing is off, and suddenly you're bleeding money. The same is true with bonds, ETFs, crypto, whatever you touch in 2026 America. Inflation is running hot, rents are insane, student loans are screaming at 6 to 7%, credit card debt isn't forgiving, and yet people still think that picking the right stock is the golden ticket. Let me hit you with another reality. If you're paycheck to paycheck, investing in the next sure thing is not just dangerous, it's reckless. Being right doesn't matter if you can't survive the volatility, and volatility will hit you. It doesn't care about your ego, your spreadsheet, your LinkedIn clout. So here's the real question you need to ask yourself. Are you investing, or are you gambling with your future? Because the line is thinner than most people want to admit. And here's the kicker most gurus will never tell you. The majority of returns in the market are captured by patience, discipline, and emotional control, not by being right in the moment. But it's sexy to talk about stock picks, shiny tickers, breaking news. It's not sexy to control your fear when the Dow drops 600 points in a day, or to avoid FOMO when everyone else is screaming about the next 10x crypto. That's why most people lose money even when they're right. They confuse knowledge with skill. Knowledge is knowing Tesla stock will rise. Skill is knowing when to act, when to sit tight, when to ignore the panic, when to rebalance. Most investors never learn skill. They chase the thrill. They jump in at the top because everyone else is cheering. They sell at the bottom because fear is louder than logic. And by the way, the experts on TV, they make money regardless. They get paid to talk, not to protect your money. And if you think your brokerage is your friend, think again. Every incentive in the system is against small investors. Commissions, margin options, fancy products, they all seem smart until the reality hits. You just handed your hard-earned cash to someone else while thinking you're making a decision. So what's the transformation here? What separates the few who actually make money from the herd? Discipline, patience, a brutal, self-reflective honesty about your weaknesses, your emotional triggers, your pride, your FOMO. You have to face it. Are you buying because you're right, or are you buying because you're scared of missing out? Are you selling because the market is wrong, or are you selling because your ego can't handle a temporary loss? These are hard questions. They will hurt. They will force you to look at your bank account, at your 401k, at your student loan statements, at your credit card bills, and face the fact that the system is rigged against you if you treat investing like a game. And here's a reality check most people don't want to hear. The market doesn't owe you anything. Just because you read a newsletter, just because you did the research, doesn't mean it will reward you. You have to earn it, not with knowledge alone, but with discipline, with emotional control, with timing, and yes, with patience over decades. Most investors lose because they want instant validation. They want their phone to ping with a green number. They want to feel smart today, not rich in 20 years. And that's the cruelest trap. You can be right 1,000 times in a row, and if you can't manage your behavior when the market tests you, every single one of those right calls is meaningless. Every investor who ever got rich, Buffett, Munger, even the ones quietly making 7 to 10% a year, they mastered themselves before they mastered the market. They waited. They ignored the noise. They understood the difference between being right and being profitable. And if you don't, you'll continue to lose, even when you're right, because being right without discipline is like knowing the recipe for a 5-star meal but burning it every time you cook. Now, let me hit you with a few more scenarios. Imagine someone with $25,000 in credit card debt paying 24% interest. They invest in a sure thing stock tip. Stock doubles. Amazing. But in reality, the interest alone on the debt ate half the gains. Or someone paying $2,000 a month in rent in San Francisco with a student loan of $50,000 at 6%, still trying to beat the market with day trades. They're right sometimes, but they're financially dead. Being right doesn't mean financially alive. And if you don't internalize this now, if you don't face the uncomfortable truth about your behavior, your emotions, your timing, your discipline, you're setting yourself up to watch your money vanish repeatedly. Here's the cliffhanger, because you need to feel this in your gut. Tomorrow, another sure thing will appear. Another hot tip in crypto, AI stocks, SPACs, or whatever the media hypes. And you'll have the choice. Follow your gut, follow your pride, or follow your self-discipline. The choice you make in that moment will determine if you're among the herd that loses or the rare few who actually profit, quietly, consistently, ruthlessly. And the sad part? Most investors never get to experience that victory because they never understand this one brutal, harsh truth. Being right isn't enough. You must master yourself first. And if you don't, your money will always slip through your fingers even when you're right.